co-host and rivals representing Team Mystic is Jimmy Bones.
Hello.
And representing Team Valor, Mr. Vince Chapman.
Yo.
And I represent Team Instinct. Welcome to the 5th episode of Join the Rivalry. I have second episode written in the notes. I almost said that. That would have been a lie if I would have said that. I think we got a pretty good show for you. I want to apologize about last week's episode. We had some technical difficulties. I was able to edit it all out, but because of that, the show was really, really short, and it was also late being posted because it was a little bit more work than just it's done, export, tack on music, and go. But I think we got a lot of our kinks worked out. Should go much, much, much smoother. Let's check up with you, Jimmy. Well, you weren't here last week. What's been going on?
Not a whole lot. I've actually been working. I'm training a new employee right now, so my time is pretty well spent at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Hypno, got a Rapidash, got a Hitmonlee. I keep seeing my favorite Pokemon Shadow walking around, and I still have yet to come across that elusive Sandshrew.
Mm-hmm.
But no, absolutely nothing of interest. I am still the most boring man alive.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man, this Wendy's screwed up. It was supposed to be a grilled chicken. They gave me house chicken. Dang it.
How dare they?
Just take it back.
I had to walk almost a mile to get to it. I'm not going back.
Oh, yeah, forget that. That's why I always look before I leave, because you never know. What you been up to, Vince?
Not a whole lot, just working. Been real busy. I did catch probably the highlight of my week, and that's saying something because the week isn't over, but the highlight of my week, I caught a Snorlax
Nice.
yesterday. Caught that Snorlax.
So
and then
jelly.
I caught a Golduck as well. So pretty happy with those two catches. Saw a Rapidash today. I was out trying to find him and catch him, but I couldn't find him. He never even showed up. So
Yeah.
other than that,
What CP was that Snorlax?
Snorlax. Let me see here. Get it pulled up. CP is at 812.
That's not bad.
So yeah, no, not terrible.
Pretty decent one.
Still stronger than most of mine.
Yeah, I've only got 2 Snorlaxes. One of them...
Only.
One of them I was able to get... I don't remember what they were when I caught them, but I was able to power one of them up to like 1400 something. And the other one...
Yeah, the highest I have is the 841.
Yeah. And it seems like you would think the higher CP they are, the harder they would be to catch.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't always seem to be the case.
No.
Occasionally, I catch like 500 CP, something or others, with one Pokeball, and I'm not even trying. And then I'll come across a level 14 Pidgey, and he'll escape. And it's like, seriously?
That's the worst.
Yeah. And the only reason I'm even trying to catch the level 14 Pidgey in the first place is for the experience points of the Stardust. I don't particularly care about the Pidgey itself.
Right.
So, but every now and then my bag gets a little full, so it's nice to be able to chuck 10 or 15 Pokeballs, because I'd rather do that than throw them in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
At least I'm doing something with them. My week has been mostly school. I'm still in, I think I'm doing pretty well in electrician school. I haven't gotten a grade. It's a tech school. It's not like regular college. So even though you do get a grade, all they really care about is if you pass. They don't seem terribly concerned about, you got a C, and so what? You passed. So now, of course, the people who are in the class that do well, they get called out, and used as examples. But yeah, it doesn't seem like the people that get C's are going to have a harder time getting a job than the people that get A's, as long as their work ethic is good.
Yeah, well, it's like, what do you call the last in his class in medical school?
I don't know. That's true. That's true. He's the doc. So, and then I've taken up a new walking path because I try and walk at least a little bit every morning. And when I went down the path that I normally go, I had not gone Pokemon hunting down this path before. I discovered that there's just nothing out there. So I decided one morning, well, I'm going to go the other way and see what I see and what I find. And there were a bunch of Pokestops, and I have better luck catching Pokemon that way. I haven't seen anything interesting. Like, it's still mostly Pidgeys and Rattatas. Once I get closer to the water, some Magikarp will start popping up. But for the most part, it's just rats and flying rats. And of course, I've gotten to where even if something interesting pops up in sightings, I try not to get too excited because it's not like I can actually track it. Since sightings doesn't do anything really. So I'll be like, oh, it's a Bulbasaur. Don't get too attached to this Bulbasaur because the likelihood you're going to find him is not very good. So
right.
I try not to let it get to me. I forgot to mention this last week, and it's probably a good thing because I wound up missing that publishing day. But our new targeted publishing day is Saturday morning because we had to change our recording day just due to school and people's schedules and stuff. That's just how it lines out. So, but yeah, my goal is to get this thing up every Saturday morning so you can have it there to listen to. All right. Moving on to some Pokemon Go news. There's even as the game I realize the game is not terribly old, but in the world of digital, even a month or two old is old for a game. But there's still news coming out about it. So some data miners have discovered that in the code there's mention of a couple of things here. So we're going to talk about, I guess we're going to speculate on them because obviously it's just code. Until any of it gets implemented, we won't know what it's going to look like. But it looks like there's mention of a Pokemon buddy system. And I don't know about y'all, but that immediately made me think of in Pokemon Gold and Silver, or if you've played the DS games, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where you can have a Pokemon follow you on the map instead of being trapped in a Pokeball, similar to Pikachu with Ash in the anime. So
yeah, and as soon as we have people with floating Gyarados around with them, I'm just like, I'm done with it.
That's right.
Yes.
I don't know how in the original Game Boy game, because I know in Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu would follow you, but Pikachu was the only one you could have follow you, right? You couldn't pick which Pokemon.
Well, Yellow was designed to mirror the anime more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. So the first time I didn't play Yellow when it came out, and I actually didn't play Gold or Silver either. It wasn't until the remakes, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, came out that I even saw any of this, and so I always thought it was kind of neat to you've got this legendary dog following you, and you're just marching through the city. Hey, check out what I got. And I just thought it was pretty cool.
BJly.
Yeah, but the thing about this being implemented into Pokemon Go, you can't see other people on your map. So the only person this benefits, it seems like, is you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a vanity item like clothing, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I guess it'll be cool, but other than just being, like you said, a vanity item,
unless they add a VR feature to where you can pull up your camera and look at it, another person that is a trainer, and if they've got a buddy, a Pokemon buddy, then you see it. The Growlithe is following them, or the Gyarados is flying up above them, or whatever, or they got a Pidgey sitting on their shoulder or something like that.
Right.
Dropping turds everywhere.
Right.
That would be. And speaking of VR, it's a nice transition into the next little bit of news that data miners were able to find. There is mention of VR support in the code. Again, don't know what that's going to look like. This game, it's not like this game is a first-person game. And there's already augmented reality built into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not, I guess unless I can't even imagine how that would work, because you need to be able to touch your phone to play the game right now. But I've never messed with any kind of virtual reality. I know like the Oculus Rift and the PlayStation VR and that thing Valve's working on, the Vive, you've got a controller for that. I don't know how the Samsung Galaxy Gear or Google Cardboard, I don't know how you control those. Have either of y'all used any of those two?
Neither of those two, but I did test out the one that Microsoft has at their little Xbox store at the mall in Buffalo.
HoloLens?
Yeah.
So cool.
Very cool.
Was it neat?
Well, same as with everything, it made me seasick.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't do VR. The only VR I've ever been able to do is the old Virtual Boy.
Oh, good old Virtual Boy.
Mario Tennis for the win.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I'd like to jump back for just a tick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
The buddy system, as you were talking about, how do we know that it doesn't mean being able to friend other trainers and then thusly be able to see them on the map? Because, I mean, you're going to have to do something like that because they're adding trainer battles, yeah?
Yes.
Could be.
And trading. So, I mean, that's a good point. We don't know that it doesn't mean that. It could be, and I think that would be infinitely more useful than having a Pokemon follow me around for no reason.
Absolutely.
Now I can imagine that would be incredibly draining on your battery and your data, having to keep up with where all those people are at all times. Of course, if it was just, here are the people that are in my immediate area, maybe they're, I don't know, 20 feet away from you. You can see them. Of course, I don't know. It's cool to speculate on it, though. I think that would be an interesting feature. But you're right. They are supposed to be adding battles. And we talked a little bit about that last week.
Yeah, a little bit.
They're supposed to be adding battles and trading, and the second generation of Pokemon. I remember specifically the second gen of Pokemon is supposed to be coming out in, was it May of next year or was it March? It was one of them.
I believe it was March.
Okay.
It was early next year, but the problem is I don't know if they're going to have that many people still playing if they don't actually fix all the little bugs and expand the game, because as it is, it's kind of very one-dimensional. Right.
Mm-hmm. And Vince and I got to talk about that a little bit last week too. There was a report that listed kind of the drop off of players and how many people, the percentage of players anyway that have left. And it's not an insignificant number. It was something like 20% of the people who started playing it the day. And I think they had it limited to people that downloaded it and were actively playing it, not just, because obviously millions of people probably downloaded it the day it came out, just see what it was like, and then never opened it again. Mm-hmm. So 20% of the people who are playing it regularly when it came out are no longer playing it today. And when you consider the millions upon millions upon millions of people that were playing it when it first came out, 20% is not an insignificant number. It's a better number than games like Candy Crush or Clash of Clans or something like Angry Birds see, because I've read reports that a lot of those games, they'll get a whole bunch of people, and then after about a month, something like 80% of those people just abandon the game completely.
Sure, but you got to figure King is still making a good profit, otherwise it wouldn't still exist. And look at it, and you have this game, despite losing millions of people, at 20%, gaining millions of people from the overseas markets, it still already had longer, lifespan than, say, No Man's Sky or Mighty Number 9.
Oh yeah, and those are
Yeah.
$60 games, or maybe Mighty Number 9 might have been like 30 or 40, but yeah, those are expensive games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I have not played No Man's Sky. I followed it cautiously when it was in development because I was curious about it. And I've got a PS4 and a PC that I could play it on, so it's not like I don't play it because I don't have the equipment. But it was interesting to see how like the gaming community just turned on that game. And I don't.
It's a shame too. I was really looking forward to it.
I was too, but I was, again, I was cautious. Like, hey, let's see how this goes, and wait for people whose opinions I trust to kind of let me know what's going on. But yeah, it just seems like the reception of that game has been mostly negative.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the articles I've seen have come off of things like Kotaku and Game Freak and things like that, so I don't necessarily trust what they have to say to begin with.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think sometimes gaming blogs or gaming journalism outlets, as they were, I think sometimes they like to complain because they know they'll get clicks. So I read it, but I always take what they have to say with a grain of salt. I'm much more interested to see what people on Twitter and on Facebook, and more so people I know, like, hey, what is this guy that I know and play games with? What does he think of it? And I'm not, that's not to say I'm not seeing anything positive about it at all. I know a lot of people that love it and are probably going to keep playing it as long as they can. But, and I know this is off topic, but I did read a couple of days ago that the fan reaction has been so negative that Sony and Steam are offering refunds on the game regardless of how long you've played it.
Wow. Well, that's funny. I've actually seen refusals for refund requests on Steam posted to Facebook and whatnot.
Yeah.
But drifting from that a little bit, you look at the technology they use for No Man's Sky, you look at the technology they use for games like Elite Dangerous. It's getting me to thinking, when are they going to finally do a modern day take of Wing Commander?
Oh, yeah.
I never played that.
That old game. I never played it.
You should. No, the both of you are wrong. The both of you are wrong. You must go play it now. I actually re-released it on the PSP a number of years back, and it's a classic, PC desktop game. I mean, come on, man. Voice acting by Mark Hamill. The obligatory bad Hollywood movie based off of it. I mean, it's a great game.
Interesting.
So if it was on PSP, I wonder if it's on PSN.
I don't know. It did not come by itself. It actually came in a package of like 30 games because it was, at the time, it was made a very large game. But by the time the PSP came out, of course, it was tiny in comparison to like even something like, I don't know. Well, I can't think of what I'm thinking of. But anyway, look for compilations. I don't remember what else came on the disc. I only bought it for Wing Commander so I could have that again. I know they did sort of a Wing Commander Arena deal for the Xbox Live Arcade back in the early days of the 360.
So let's see. Yeah, it's part of something called EA Replay.
That's it. That's the one. Get it.
Oh, and this has Desert Strike and Road Rash.
Yeah. I also got it for Road Rash, man. I had 1, 2, and 3, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so since it's an EA thing, because I saw when I searched for Wing Commander on PSN, what am I trying to say? Oh, the Wing Commander 4 came up, but
no, you can't play 4 unless you played the first one, man. You got to go through them all. It's actually got an overarching storyline, and it's despite the fact that the movie was just god awful. The game itself was very fun. If you like space fighters, like if you're a big fan of the off the rails type of fighting in Star Fox, then you'd like Wing Commander. Yeah, I love Star Fox. I love Star Fox 64. Yep.
I played through Star Fox Zero, telling myself it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. And it just
Did it ever get better?
No.
Awesome.
And unfortunately, it wasn't just the controls. The controls had a lot to do with it, but it had a lot of other problems that I think people forgot about because the controls were so bad.
Well, that's why I have a hard time playing Metal Gear Solid anymore. Just the controls just seem so counterintuitive to me. But yeah, that's the one thing that I really liked about Wing Commander is that choices you make are persistent and things that you do are persistent between the games. So let's say you have your wingman is Paladin, codename Paladin. You're flying around and you get overwhelmed. He gets blown up. Well, he never shows up again in the entire series, despite the fact that he's in every game because he died on your first mission.
Right.
So, every time I played that, it was my goal to make sure that everybody made it out alive.
Yeah.
Never worked.
They certainly play around with that in Star Fox, but after a level or two, their ship is repaired and they come back, so they're never gone permanently.
Wing Commander's a little more mature than
I might be losing you.
Yeah, I had to step outside for a minute to get away from the engine noise.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just looked to see if this was on PC. And it's, at the very least, it's not on Steam. I don't know if it's... But anyway. What are we talking about? Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Well, slightly back on topic. They released more forms of Gen 1 Pokemon in the Alola region. You were talking about Rattatas being everywhere, and Rattata's a new form now too. Rattata and Raticate are now dark types.
Yeah.
The secondary type are normal, which makes no sense at all to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rattata looks like he's got a mustache. I thought that
was
it's funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at him now.
Not a huge fan of how he looks from the purple to the black with the mustache.
Well, I'd be fine with the black if it weren't for the mustache.
Sure.
Like, I have no idea what the Raticate looks like. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But Snorlax has a new form too.
Yeah, and that Z move, whatever it is, that pancake pummel or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's a big old linebacker charging him and then doing a sumo jump.
Yep.
Like mixture of, Dick Butkus and, E Honda.
Yeah. Accurate.
Yeah, I haven't been. It's just when I see him on Facebook, I'll look at the new forms, but I can't say I've been going out of my way to look. I'm trying to find. I found Rattata real easy. The only thing I can find of Snorlax, I'm not sure if it's real, because it's Snorlax in a grass skirt wearing coconut bra.
No.
That doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
No, I actually, if you look on my Facebook, I believe I shared a video with him on there not too long ago, maybe an hour or two.
I'll have to check that out then. Now those come out in October?
November.
Okay.
November 11th, I believe. Also, you get if you pre-order, you get the Munchlax free, and the Snorlaxium Z, so that he can do his super move.
Right.
Do you have to pre-order from a certain store?
Well, this is a tentative announcement on my behalf because the only guaranteed information I have is that that's what they're doing as the release bonus in the UK. Don't know if it's the same in the States or not.
Yeah, I can't. Every time if you pre-order, you get such and such. It's usually you have to pre-order it from a certain.
Well, I mean, I only ever get my games from GameStop or Walmart anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to do Amazon, but then they changed their shipping contract. Their contract used to be with UPS, and they still ship some things UPS, but now a lot of it comes through the Postal Service. And if I have, say, I've got Amazon Prime, and if I order something and they ship it the Postal Service, I have no idea if it's actually going to get here when it's supposed to.
Well, the thing about that is that UPS actually subcontracts with the Postal Service. And I know this because I pull occasionally FedEx and UPS loads, and I take them out of their terminals and take them to USPS terminals, or vice versa.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I could pre-order a game, and I mean, yeah, sure, I wouldn't get it at midnight because I had to wait for it to be delivered. But, I'd go to work and I'd come home and there it would be in my mailbox or wherever it was the UPS guy would, I guess he wouldn't put it in the mailbox. He'd put it on my doorstep or something. But then the Postal Service started doing it, and now it's like I might get the game the day it comes out, but I'm probably going to get it a day or two later. And it's like, what's the point in me pre-ordering this game from you if I could have gone to GameStop up the street and picked it up quicker than you're going to ship it to me?
Well, the Postal Service folks, they don't seem to know what they're doing with a lot of things. Like I've got on my front porch, technically it's my front porch, but it's actually more on the side or the back of the house because we don't use it. The door is blocked by our couch. And I have a sign that I have posted on my door, delivery services, please do not leave packages here. Because my wife doesn't, when she checks the mail, she doesn't check the porch. So I've probably got 3 or 4 loot crates sitting on my back porch right now.
Nice.
Yeah. I keep telling myself I'm going to subscribe to one of those nerd box things, and I haven't done it yet.
Loot Crate, man, it's got some good stuff and it's got some garbage. And the thing is that every time I cancel it, the very next box has something in it that I really want. And then I reorder, and then in the next several months is garbage, and then I cancel, and the next thing I really want. It's obnoxious. Like right. I missed the Fallout bobblehead. I really wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
I like bobbleheads.
Yeah,
I like bobbleheads. They're fun.
Fun.
Yes. I'm staring now at I'm on Facebook, and I'm staring. Joel posted something. Nintendo's doing a Zelda themed set of amiibo.
Yes.
So there's going to be a new Link, and then another Toon Link, and a Toon Zelda, and an 8-bit Link. And I have not been excited about amiibo in a while. Like I went kind of crazy when they first came out, and I was buying every wave, and then it was just the struggle of finding them in stock was just getting old, and I'm like, I don't care nearly enough about this. But now that you can find them in stock a lot more, and I'm kind of starting to pay a little bit more attention, and especially this 8-bit Link looks pretty cool. I missed out on, I'm sure I could go find one if I looked hard enough, but I really wanted an 8-bit Mario, and I did not get him.
Well, I haven't found any games worth getting that actually use them, so I haven't seen the point.
Yeah, I very rarely do I use them in games. Every time I pull up Hyrule Warriors, that Dynasty Warriors spinoff that uses The Legend of Zelda, it's got some amiibo support, but it's just, tap an amiibo to the gamepad and you get, a weapon or just a bunch of rupees or something like that. It's never anything like substantial. So I'll do that, but I don't use the Smash Brothers stuff. I have no interest in training amiibos. I've not tried it with Animal Crossing because they just added amiibo support to Animal Crossing, and so most of the time, oh no, I take that back. I specifically bought a Toad amiibo to unlock the extra content in Captain Toad. But
I'd like
that, I've not touched it.
I would like them to add amiibo support to one of the Pokemon games, and then just do Pokemon amiibo so that you don't have to hunt them down.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I've said
if buy this amiibo, get your level 100, Snorlax, right, just like that.
That would be awesome. I would so buy Pokemon amiibo.
I would too. I've never bought an amiibo. I've not bought one amiibo, but I would buy.
Just think about it. Let's let's say they have 762 some odd Pokemon right now, and each
Mhm.
amiibo costs $10. You're looking at almost $8,000 for the whole Pokédex.
Oh yeah.
Like, rather than having these mystery gift legendaries, just sell the Mew in an amiibo form. I'll buy a Mew amiibo.
Yeah. I'd
Oh, yeah.
do that. Shoot.
Absolutely.
And then the really cool thing would be then every game that comes out after that, I have Mew for it. I don't have to keep re-downloading him over and over and over again. So,
Hmm.
but with Nintendo and the Pokemon Company not really being the same thing, Pokemon Company
Right,
does
Game
their own
Freak.
thing, and Nintendo does their own thing. And I'm pretty sure the only reason we got the Pikachu amiibo was because he's in Smash Brothers. Otherwise,
Or they make a Jigglypuff too.
yeah, there's a Jigglypuff. So,
I like him better than Pikachu anyway.
mhm.
I'm just waiting to see Kirby show up as a Pokemon.
Heck yeah.
Like
Heck yeah.
Ditto evolves into Kirby.
There you go.
That'd be the best. That'll be part of Sun and Moon. You heard it
Wicked
here
work.
first. Stuff we made up. Ditto comes into Kirby. Oh. I guess that's it. There's not much going on. So I'm glad we when we started talking about doing this, I was so sure this Pokemon Go thing, it's not going anywhere. We're gonna be able to just have a podcast that's just about Pokemon Go and it's gonna last forever. And yeah, I was wrong. So I'm really glad that we named it something a little bit more generic and are including other things to talk about, because that was we pretty much burned through our Pokemon Go news and only been recording about 30 minutes. But on that note, this isn't normal for me, but I have a job orientation that I have to get to tonight. I have recently taken on a position at Tom Thumb, which is the local gas station chain down here. And it's owned by Kroger. So if you live somewhere that has Kroger grocery stores, then you're familiar with that. Interestingly enough, even though they own Tom Thumb, there are no Kroger stores down here. It's just Tom Thumb. I would have
I'll
thought.
deliver to you guys from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, I take stuff to Kroger DCs relatively frequently. They're not the easiest people to deal with.
Oh no.
But they're still better than Safeway.
I've never been to a Safeway. I've heard of Safeway. Never been to one. It's kind of like I've never been in a 7-Eleven because I've never been around one.
Well, so you're in Pensacola area, yeah. So you've got the kangaroos down there now, yeah.
I've seen them in Alabama, like in the Mobile area.
I'm fairly sure they all used to be Little Champ.
And I've never even heard of that, so I don't know.
Well, I grew up with the Little Champs. Had basically that character that was in Punch-Out. The guy that you play as. It was basically just a picture of him doing the muscle arm thing.
Oh, really?
But I mean, it was basically just a 7-Eleven or any other generic gas station.
Yeah, that's funny. 7-Eleven. There is a 7-Eleven about maybe an hour and a half from here, and the only reason I know that is because my brother wanted some kind of code for a game that came on the cup for their slushy thing. Yeah, that must have been it. And he wanted it, and he's like, "Oh, there's a 7-Eleven about an hour away from here, so sure, I'll go." And I'm like, "You're crazy. That doesn't sound worth the drive."
Drive an hour, go for a 7-Eleven. Awesome.
Right.
Well, hey, man. I mean, a gamer's got a game, right?
I guess so. And,
True.
More power to him. So.
Yep.
Anyway, on that note, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Jimmy, where can we find you?
Here, I guess.
Yes.
Perfect.
In a couple of months, if you're in Mackenzie, Tennessee, you'll find me there walking across a graduation stage at Bethel University.
That's cool.
Aside from that, I'm boring.
There it is.
It's true. Yep, there it is. The famous line. What about you, Vince? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Vince Chapman Writes, and on Twitter @Chapman_Vince.
And you can find me facebook.com/AboveParProductions, on Twitter @PatrickProper. I host the Original Gamers podcast at ogcast.podbean.com, and I run events for CrossForge Gaming. You can find that at crossforgegaming.com. I have a website, patrickconryan.com, but it hasn't been updated in a while, and I have to move it because the guy that I know that was letting me use a server, he's losing his server or something like that. Whatever it is, I can't keep it there anymore, and it's not because like we're mad at each other or anything crazy like that. It's all technical stuff, so I have to move
what you
it
told me
to somewhere. I didn't tell you anything.
Hey, that guy, he's been talking so much smack about you, that guy.
Yeah. Maybe I need to have some words with him. So anyway, thanks for listening. If you guys have questions, you can write to us at jointherivalry@gmail.com. And I'm going to try and set up a Twitter for it soon. And I'm sure it'll just be @jointherivalry, but I haven't yet. So we'll let you know when I do that. And yeah, you can ask us questions, give us suggestions, bring things to our attention that maybe we forgot about. And I find with the other podcasts that I do that when your listener base gets involved, it's a lot more fun. So anyway, that's going to do it for us this week. I'll have more time to record next week, so that hopefully the episode will be longer, but we did it.
I might have a little more time to talk myself.
All right, well, that's going to do it, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.